Then the next point is submitting expired police clearance. This is another document that can outrightly make your application to be rejected. Like, it's not additional document. They will reject it if you submit an expired police clearance, even though it's just 1 day expiration. So it's the same thing with IELTS and TEF Canada, because those are the basic things that will even make you to scale through what they call R1. If you scale through the R1 phase, it means every document that is needed, you submitted it right. So your police clearance should not expire. I remember when I did mine, Nigerian police clearance expires every 3 months. So do not go and start doing police clearance when it's not even time for you to get an invite. You can do police clearance like a month to, or like maybe a month to, or even 2 months to, if you're sure that you're getting an invitation very soon, so that you can quickly submit your application. Don't go and submit an expired police clearance. IRCC will not give you another chance at all. That one, they will automatically reject your application. So submit a valid police clearance.
When I start to talk about God, you will need to know the man I speak so highly of. That man can change your life from zero to hero in no time.
Hi everyone. So we all know that getting an invitation to apply is something that is very, very challenging right now, and the competitive nature in the pool is so alarming. So if you're lucky enough to get an invitation to apply, you need to ensure that when you're submitting your application, you do your due diligence. Like, you look at the things you are submitting before you click on that submit button. So I'm talking to people that are coming in as a permanent resident. If you got an invitation to apply and you want to put in your application, please do your due diligence and ensure that the documents you're submitting are not expired, or there is nothing that can make your application to get denied. So the reason for this video is to just list out some major things you need to take note while you are submitting your application. Number 1 is your proof of fund. IRCC don't want to see how much you have in your account. That is what the mistake that people make. Do not just borrow a lump sum and put it in your account thinking that with this big amount, IRCC will know that I have that proof of fund. That's not how Canada works. Some countries might be allowing it. Maybe they will like just check the amount you have, but with Canada, they want to know the source of the income. They just don't want to see a dump lump sum. You can only do a lump sum if, for example, you sell your property like land or anything like your house. But while you are submitting that statement of account, you need to ensure that you have a proof or an evidence of the property that you sold, so that IRCC will know that this lump sum is coming from a sold property that belongs to you. Other than that, you need to build your account gradually, especially if you're a salary earner. So in summary, your proof of fund, any statement of account that you are using to submit for your proof of fund, please ensure that you always have the evidence, the source of income, where the money is coming from. Because sometimes IRCC will even request what they call additional documents, where they assess your statement. If, for example, you are receiving like 100,000, 200,000, 50,000, and suddenly IRCC sees a big lump sum like 1 million, 1.5 million, they are going to flag that statement, and they might request for additional document. And the additional document is where that money came from. So when they request that additional document, you should ensure that you have an evidence of where that particular lump sum came from. But if you are not, if you don't even want your application to like delay for them to even request for the additional document first, if you know you have an unusual lump sum is an amount that ordinarily your account doesn't take, as in your account hasn't gotten such an amount. If, for example, it's 100,000 that your account usually takes, and you know that you paid in like 2 million or 1 million at once, please write letter of explanation and attach it to that statement when you're submitting your application. Just attach it to the statement of account, so that when IRCC is checking your statement of account, when they see that letter of explanation, is self-explanatory. Remember that Canada application, there is nothing like interview, so anything you're submitting there is like you're representing yourself there. So in order for you not to make your application to be denied or be delayed, just put everything that they need as if you are there with them. Okay, that is number one, your proof of fund. Secondly, submitting expired IELTS or expired TEF Canada, which is the French examination. If you know you've not gotten your invitation to apply and your result is almost expiring, and you know you still want to continue with it, just go and rewrite the IELTS or TEF Canada. If you submit TEF Canada result that is expired or IELTS result that is expired, your application will be denied. Now, when, for example, you got an invitation and your IELTS or your TEF result is about to expire like in a month's time, do very well, like do very fast to submit the application quickly before the result expires. Because if you submit the application with that 1 month to go before the expiration of the result, your application is locked. So even though IRCC is not done with your application, have not assessed the application, provided that you've submitted your application, your result is locked. So it will not, like, it doesn't matter again if it expires or not. But if you got an invitation and your result is expiring, you don't submit that application on time before the result expires, they will check the date of the time, the date you submitted your application, and the expiring date of that result. So if you submitted after the result expires, your application will be denied and it will be cancelled. So if you know you're currently in the pool and your result is about expiring, maybe like 2 weeks time, your results will expire, and maybe you're thinking of getting an invitation maybe 1 week or so before that result expires, or even before the invitation comes, start gathering your document so that you can submit before the result expires. Because if you submit after the expiration of the result, your application will be denied and you will start all over again. That's point number 2. Point number 3, choosing your NOC code. Before you put in your NOC code like the job experience you've had already, check the job duties, because you have to submit your job reference letter, right? The duties that you aligned on your job reference letter, ensure that it's 80% matching with the NOC code you are choosing. If the NOC you chose is not matching at least 80% of your job experience, your application will be denied. Like I always say, do not be checking the job title. Do not check job title. Check the responsibilities and the duties under the NOC code. Canada's job title might be different from the job title you have back home. So do well, like when I was submitting my application, the job title I chose, that's the NOC, is different from the job title that I was bearing in my work experience, is different. So in order for you to get the correct NOC code you're using for your application, Ensure that the jobs, the duties, your responsibilities is matching 80% of the NOC code you're choosing. If it's not matching, your application will be denied. Your children's birth certificate. So this might not really make your application to get denied, but the one that I listed prior to this one will make your application to be rejected outrightly. But like I said, if you don't want your application to be delayed, it's best you just submit the right document. Your children's birth certificate is the one that they are currently giving, not the one that they gave in the 60s or in the past. Probably I will just put a sample, but the recent one they are giving that is like greenish in nature, that's the one they are accepting, that have this is it a logo? I will put a picture there. So that's the one you are submitting, so that they will not start asking for additional document for your child's birth certificate, and that's when you start saying, oh my god, where will I get a new birth certificate? Then the next point is also your marriage certificate, the one that has coat of arms on it. That's the one that IRCC accepts. They do not accept the other type of marriage certificate. So submit your. Then the next point is submitting expired police clearance. This is another document that can outrightly make your application to be rejected. Like, it's not additional documents. They will reject it if you submit an expired police clearance.